Hello everybody, welcome to the Jay Saunders channel. This is Jeffrey. I've decided to remake the last video I made on my UFO sighting because it really didn't do it justice. So what I've done is I've taken a picture of the sky and then I've actually drawn in what I saw to the best of my memory, but I got a real good look at these with my binoculars, and the whole problem the reason why I don't have a picture is because I spent so much time looking at these with my binoculars and being totally amazed and even maybe stunned. I didn't really go to take a picture of it until they were moving towards the oak tree. Well, unbeknownst to me, my camera was in full zoom and I couldn't even find them. And by the time I realized what was going on, they were gone behind the tree and there was really no way to get around to a better position to where I could get a photo. And also the sun was up to the left and up high, kind of like towards where they were going, so even if I had taken a picture, it probably would have had the sunlight in it. Now what I should have done was taken a picture. The first time I saw it, boom, take pictures, video, then look at it with binoculars. So if you ever see something just sitting there, you might want to just think about that. Take the pictures first, then the binoculars. But I'm kind of happy that I did look at it so closely with the binoculars, because I think if I had taken a picture, I just don't think I would have seen the detail that I got to see with these binoculars. And I watched these for at least 5 minutes before they disappeared. So let's get right on to what I saw. And this is what I saw up here, this little round part up here. Now there's a couple of issues with this. For one thing, I drew these in here. This is not the actual picture, but this is the sky where it was. The sun was up to the left high, shining down on them. I have these a little packed too closely together. Now the actual size of this circle of these things was about that big. It was a lot bigger than that. Okay, it was really big, and when I first came up on the deck and looked up the sky, this is what I saw. And it just looked like little puffs of smoke in a polka dot pattern here in a round, like I say, this big round circle. It was a lot bigger than that. I could probably zoom in a little to try and get the scale of just how big it was. And it was pretty big, and kind of like that with the naked eye. Now the other issue with this is that these are too close together. All of these ships that were in here, get that up a little bigger. These were equally spaced apart, and they were slowly rotating. Each one of these was rotating very, very slowly, and it was all in this tight circle here. So like I said, if I were to expand this out to where if these were rotating, the wingtips, there would be just a little bit of space between them. This circle of ships would probably be about that big. Okay, so it was a lot bigger. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just drawing him in here, and then later I thought, oh my God, I got them too close. Because they are too close. They were equally spaced in here, all pointing different directions. And I'll zoom in a little bit more. Now this is fuzzy, and I've got it fuzzy on purpose because actually with the naked eye, these actually look like puffs of smoke arranged in a polka dot pattern, like that. So let's bring it back down to where it was. Now that's basically what I saw. Now let me go to a different one. This one's a little bit finer detail on that. It's not fuzzed up so much. And this is a little bit more like what it looked like in the binoculars, but only with extremely better detail than this. In the binoculars, I would say I had them about like that, pretty close, and I could see everything. And the one outstanding thing that I noticed was they all had these little white pair of white dots in the front. Now these ones that are facing away, I really couldn't see the white dots, you know, because they were up on, like, on the side of it. And here's my original drawings. They were more loosely packed in there. This whole formation up here was going this way, and it took about 5 minutes for it to go from here over to the oak tree, where I actually lost them behind the tree. And like I say, the sun was up here, so I had plenty of time to watch them. Now, I do have another drawing here. Now this is a little better drawing because it's hard to get all this detail on such tiny little ships up there, because I'm actually limited, extremely limited here by the pixel size. And I hope I haven't lost this thing. I keep losing them on here because the screen is just so big. So there's a few strange things about this. First of all, like I said, these were all at the same level, hovering, all suspended, and each one of these was rotating very slowly, just rotating around very slowly. And they were staying within this circle. And like I said, just moving across the sky. And at first when I came up, it looked like a bunch of white puffs of smoke, or maybe a cloud, little white, tiny white clouds, all arranged in this perfect circle. No lines around it, no nothing. So naturally I ran in and got my binoculars and camera because I was unprepared, caught by complete surprise here. So back to the ship here. This is pretty much about 90% accurate of what it actually looked like. And it had like these two lights up here. It had all kinds of little apparatus, some kind of like, it was hard to tell because at that distance I couldn't get real good detail, but I saw pretty good detail. But it was very fancy. It had these little gold lines coming down this way, and then it had little gold lines on the wings, and they almost looked like bird wings the way they were. The ship was shaped. And another striking thing was that the back half of the undersides of these wings was totally black under here, except that you could see these lines. And I would say probably this whole thing was probably about, I'm going to up it to probably maybe at least 100 feet across. I said before they were about 40 to maybe 60 feet, but they had to be a little bit bigger. Now I estimate the distance from me was probably about 2,000 feet. And it looked like they were probably about 2,000 feet off the ground. So here's a map showing exactly where they were sighted. They were coming, I saw them right about here. Okay, and this whole group of these little ships was going this way. Now when I first saw them, they were here. I followed them to about here. How far they went and down here, I don't know. Where they came from up here, I don't know. But I do know that they were arranged in this nice, neat little round package, floating across the sky very slowly. They weren't going fast. And also, I don't think there were anybody in these things. I think there were no pilots in here, just because of the way they were just rotating slowly around and staying within that tight circle being moved across the sky. Now, I have questions. Why do I go out on the deck and see a group of spaceships of the likes I've never seen before? And I've seen a few, and I've seen some pretty good ones, but I haven't seen any of these yet. In fact, these are very similarly shaped to the logo that I use on my channel, but they're different. These were very bright, very colorful. They had lots of detail. So where did they come from? Well, they must have drifted from the north. When I came out, they were already there. So they didn't just appear there, and I didn't see them vanish. They just went across the sky and behind this tree. But it took, like I said, 5 minutes for it to get from here to there. Now, my next question is, why didn't hundreds of thousands of people see these? Because that's the first thing I saw. I walked out there and I look up a sky and I see this big pattern of white polka dots all arranged in a big circle. I mean, somebody had to have looked at that twice. Now, if you were looking with your eyes, you wouldn't have seen the little ships, but it did look like little white objects. But right at first, it just looked like puffs of smoke. Still, a pretty strange cloud. And the sky was clear, just like this. And I thought, well, maybe it was a HARP thing, you know, or some kind of weapon they were testing. So could it be that these were being delivered? And if they were being delivered, why right in the middle of the daytime at 1:30 in the afternoon, in plain view of everybody? I mean, it was almost as if they were being shown off. Here we are, we've got your delivery, where do you want them? I mean, this was the impression that I got. They weren't flying around, because that's usually how you see them, one at a time, two or three, you know, flying around. You might see lights. But here they are, 30 of them. I counted 30. Flying, or just hovering actually, in this circular pattern up there, just drifting across the sky, headed south. And that's all I can really tell you. This representation that I have here is of what you would see if you just looked up at them. This is like almost 100% accurate. I'd say about 90% because I'm knocking 10% off because of the resolution. I can't really get a good resolution on this because of the pixel sizes. That's about as best as I can get them looking. So there you have it. Now, this is not a photo. I drew these in on the picture so that you could get an idea of the the perspective and the size of it. Now, like I said, this was bigger and they were more spaced apart. But there it is. That is almost exactly what I saw. I'll bring it in one more time. So after seeing these, I was naturally totally stunned. Because I thought, well, I'm lucky to see one, but 30 all at once in a group? I mean, this is just too much. And I was so stunned. I couldn't get this image out of my mind for days. So that's when I decided I'd better just draw a picture of it while it was still fresh in my mind. But what amazes me is that I did not see any mention of this anywhere. Nowhere on the internet, no news channels. And if somebody did see this, then please let me know and give me a link or something, because I can't believe I'm the only person that saw this. This was right in Central California between San Francisco and Sacramento, and it was between Davis and Winters, or Vacaville. Hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands of people should have seen this. And this what just blows me away. I can't believe I'm the only one that saw this. And people think I'm crazy. But I know what I saw. There's no two ways about it, man. And if I hadn't already seen two mind-blowing sightings already, and you can check one of my earlier videos with the V craft that flew directly over me, only a few hundred feet up over me. I mean, that was also another mind blower. So if anybody saw these or heard of them, let me know. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. They have to be approved, but don't worry, it'll be approved if it's cool. Have a good day.